Hello everyone. Before starting the lesson, try the warm-up. Expand and simplify, factor fully, and complete the square. Pause the video and try each of these. Here's my answers. Remember, expand and simplify. You're multiplying each term in these brackets by each term in these brackets, and you simplify your like terms by adding them together. Factoring fully, always look for the greatest common factor first. In this case, 3 is the greatest common factor, and I'm left with a simple trinomial. So I need two numbers that multiply to -8 and add to 2. That's where these came from. And when we complete the square, group the first two terms, factor out the lead coefficient, turn that into a perfect square trinomial. So half of 2 is 1, squared is 1, so add 1, then take it away so you don't change the equation. Factor the perfect square trinomial, expand, and simplify. If you had trouble with any of these, you should pause and ask for help before you move on to the rest of the lesson. We're going to put all that algebra to use in this lesson on graphing quadratic functions. So we're going to graph a quadratic function from the vertex form, from the factored form, and from the standard form. Just remember that each form of the equation tells you different key pieces of information about the graph. So if you want the information from vertex form, but you have standard form, well, complete the square. Now you have vertex form. Now you know where the vertex is on your graph. Or let's say you wanted to know the x-intercepts. Well, you got to factor the standard form in order to get factored form. Now you know where the x-intercepts are. So you can use this chart to help you figure out what kind of algebra you have to do when you're turning one equation into another form. And let's say you wanted to turn the vertex form into the factored form. Well, you'd have to do both expanding and simplifying and then factoring. And if you wanted to turn factored form into vertex form, well, you'd have to do both expanding and simplifying and completing the square. So use that chart to help you answer this question. Change from vertex form to factored form. Here's the equation in vertex form. Pause the video and turn it into factored form, then check back in to see how you did. First, I need to expand and simplify to turn it into standard form. And once I have standard form, I need to factor to get the factored form. So you can pause the video right now and take a closer look to check your work. Otherwise, you can move on. And try this one. Change from factored form to vertex form. So here's the equation in factored form. Pause the video and turn it into vertex form. First, I have to expand and simplify to turn it into standard form. And once I have standard form, I complete the square to turn it into vertex form. So you can pause the video to take a closer look at this as you check your answer. And if you had any issues, you should ask for help before you move on. Here is the parent function of all quadratic functions. F of x is equal to x squared. So whatever x is, square it, and you get the y value. So if x is 0, 0 squared is 0, y is 0. When x is 1, well, 1 squared is 1. Okay, 2 squared is 4, 3 squared is 9, and I can do the same on the other side with my negative values of x. So these points are the points that I get for the parent function f of x equals x squared. Now what I want to point out is something called the step pattern. This is a useful concept when we start to graph quadratic functions. And this is what I'm talking about. From the vertex, I go over 1 unit, I go up 1 unit to get back to the function. From there, I go over 1 unit and up 3 units to get to the function. Then I go over 1 unit and up 5 units to get back to the function. So if I look at this pattern, this step pattern between my consecutive points on my function, it's 1, 3, 5. The next would be 7, then 9, etc. Just a list of the odd numbers. So keep this idea in your mind as we go through how to graph these quadratic functions. When I say step pattern, have the numbers 1, 3, 5 in your mind. That's the basic step pattern that the parent function follows. So when I get to an example like this, I can actually graph it. I have to think about things like where is the vertex, which direction does it open, and what is the step pattern. If I can answer all those things, then I can make a pretty accurate graph of my function. Because I have the vertex form, I know that these two numbers that I've highlighted in blue tell me the location of the vertex. Also, because I have a negative a value, that tells me that my graph opens down. Now, I don't see a number here. That means it's a -1, which just means my step pattern hasn't really changed from the parent function. It's still a 1, 3, 5 step pattern. It's just that instead of going up 1, then up 3, then up 5, I'm going down 1, then down 3, then down 5 from here. So, if you know where the vertex is, put it on the graph. And if you know it opens down with this step pattern, well, from your vertex, go over 1, then what's the first step? Down 1, put a point there. Then over 1, and then what's the next step? Down 3. So go down 1, 2, 3, put a point there. And then over 1, then down 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, put a point there. Do the same thing on the other side. Connect your points, put some arrows on it, and you have the graph of your function. Now, in the previous unit, we graphed a little bit differently. We used transformations. Well, the same thing works. A is a negative value, so that's a vertical reflection. So instead of opening up, it opens down. And then D is -5, so we go left 5, up 3. Well, that's exactly what we would get if we did it that way. We would get the same graph. So if you graph using transformations, or if you just know these are the coordinates of the vertex and it opens down with this step pattern, either way, you can get a graph of your function. In this next example, we're graphing a function just like before, except this function is in factored form. I'm going to walk you through two different ways that you can make a graph from the factored form. The first way, I'm going to change the equation into the vertex form first, and then graph it like I did in the previous example. And the second way, I'll just do it a little bit differently. So I expand and simplify to get standard form. Then I complete the square to get vertex form. So from the vertex form, I know the location of my vertex. It's at 4 minus 8, which is over here. Now this value of a is 2. It's positive, which means my graph opens up. And the step pattern won't be 1, 3, 5. It will be that times 2. So instead of 1, it'll be 2. Instead of 3, it'll be 6. Instead of 5, it will be 10. So because I know where my vertex is, and I know it opens up, and I know the step pattern is 2, 6, 10, I can figure out where my other points are. From the vertex, go over 1, up 2, that's the first step, then over 1, up 6, that's the next step, then over 1, up 10, that's the next step. And then I do the same thing on the other side and draw a smooth curve with arrows to get my graph. So what I did was I changed factored form into vertex form and then plotted the vertex and used the step pattern to find the other points. And that method works really well. But I said I was going to show you another method to graph from the factored form. Now the part that's the same is that I'm still going to use my A value to determine my direction of opening and my step pattern. So I'm going to leave that on the screen. But the way I start this question is different. I'm not going to turn this into the vertex form, but I am still going to find the vertex. I'm just going to do that in a different way. Remember that the factored form tells me where the x-intercepts are. So if I know where the x-intercepts are, I can use that to find the axis of symmetry. Because I know my x-intercepts are 2 and 6, well, the axis of symmetry is going to be halfway between those, because I know that my graph is symmetrical. So halfway between 2 and 6 is 4. I know that my axis of symmetry is x equals 4. If you're not comfortable figuring out just by looking at a number line what is halfway between two numbers, you can just find the average of those two numbers and it gets you the same result. Either way we do it, we know that the axis of symmetry is x equals 4. Now the other thing we know about quadratic functions is that the vertex is on the axis of symmetry. So if I know that my axis of symmetry is x equals 4, I now know the x-coordinate of my vertex. And if I want to know the y-coordinate of the vertex, I just have to calculate the y-coordinate using the equation that I have. X is 4. Put that in for x and solve for y. So if I take my factored form equation and I plug in 4 for the value of x and do the math, 4 minus 2 is 2, 4 minus 6 is minus 2. Multiply these all together, I get minus 8. So now I know the vertex of this function is 4 minus 8. So now that I know the coordinates of my vertex, I can plot it on the grid. Now I can use my step pattern like I did before and fill in all the missing points. So from the vertex, over 1 up 2, over 1 up 6, over 1 up 10, and the same on the other side. And we get the same graph as we did before, I just got it a different way. So either method will work for making a graph from the factored form. You can either turn it into vertex form first, or you can just find the x-intercepts, the axis of symmetry, and then use that to find the coordinates of the vertex. In both cases, you need to know the direction of opening and the step pattern to finish it off. But once you have that, you should be good. So far, here's the main idea. Find where the vertex is, and then use the step pattern to find the other points. Now, making a graph from the standard form is not as straightforward. You can't just look at this and know how to make the graph. You know that it opens down, the steps are 2, 6, 10, and the y-intercept is minus 30. But other than that, you don't really know where the other points are going to go. You don't know where the vertex is. You don't know where the x-intercepts are. So I would suggest either make a table of values by plugging in different values of x and solving for what the y value would be, then plotting those points, or just change to a more useful form like the vertex form. So I would like you to try that actually. Pause the video, turn this into vertex form, then use that to make the graph. Pause the video, try it, and then check back in to see how well you got your graph to work out. So I changed to vertex form first by completing the square. The vertex form tells me where the vertex is. So the coordinates are 4, 2. I plot that on the grid. The A value, no matter which form you look at, the A value is -2. Negative means it opens down. The 2 means you're multiplying that basic step pattern by 2. So instead of 1, 3, 5, multiply each step by 2, it's 2, 6, 10. So from the vertex, I go over 1, then down 2, over 1, down 6, over 1, down 10, but I don't have room on my graph, so I just stopped here. And I connected the dots with a smooth curve, as smooth as I can draw, and arrows on the ends to indicate that it does keep going. Graphing these functions takes practice, and so it's time to practice. And if you're running into any difficulties, please reach out for help.